Hi guys, this is Glorious Glow on your screen, also known as Mrs. Gloria Lord Pratt. Thank you. And today I am here to share my testimony, my story, to encourage you, to boost you to have faith in God, to not give up because God is faithful. If He has done it for me, surely He's going to do it for you. So before we continue, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and without wasting much time, let's get into the video. So before I get into the story of how I met my husband, we got married within 6 months. Before I even got to know my husband, there were videos appearing on my YouTube. Trust me, I was not looking for them, but I suddenly had videos coming up on my screen about people getting to know each other within 6 months and getting married, getting to know each other within 8 months and getting married. And I was like, me, I don't think this one will apply to me, because how do you meet someone within 8 months and you get married? Well, I didn't know that that was going to be my story. I want to let you know that before I turned 30 years old, God did tell me that at the age of 30, things will go with divine speed. Now, I was thinking that it would have to do with singing ministry because I am a minister, and I thought that God was going to turn something there around for me. However, I knew somewhere deep within my heart that it was linked to marriage, okay? So I was just praying and hoping that things will go well. However, when you know something like that, you start to look at things in that lens. So whatever comes into your life, you think that, oh, this connects to what God has said. But eventually I would sometimes also, because of that, I would look around, I would see people be married at the age of 25, 26, and it was putting a certain pressure on me. Not because I was desperate to get married, but it was because people also tell me, oh, next year by this time, next year by this time. And then you look at yourself, you'll be like, but I am so focused on the things of God. I am so focused on having these worship programs, encounter programs. I was so interested in people encountering God. So at a point, I did ask God that, God, will it also happen for me? I have to continue to focus on God, serve God, because my time will come. My time is not the same as the other people's time, because God's time is different than our time. And when God does it, He makes all things beautiful in His time. I knew what I wanted, but I also knew that God had told me something about my 30th age. So I was trying to figure out what God had in store for me. That was my big mistake. So what happened? I ended up with someone of which I thought that this is the person that God has for me, because He told me, clock in, at the age of 30 there will be divine speed. So that means that my marriage is coming. So whatever be the case, however things are going, it is you. But God was like, no, Gloria, it's not the person. So that was something that shook me to the core, because when everything broke off, I was confused. I was like, God, but I thought at the age of 30 things would go with divine speed. Although I had not yet clocked 30, I was still 29 years old, but it was like 4 or 5 months left. So I was like, God, I don't know what's going on, but I am praying to you. I am not going to believe that something will happen anymore. So I had lost all hope, and I just didn't know what to do. But one thing I knew for sure, I will continue to serve God. I came to a point whereby I told myself, if I would marry and end up in hell, God, forget it, I'm not getting married, because I wouldn't mind staying a virgin till I die and getting into heaven, because at the end of the day, heaven is the place we want to be at, right? But in the season of me being, let me say, brokenhearted, God had a way of turning things around. There was a day that I was sharing my heart with a sister of mine from our church, Sister Eunice Yabo Adade. God bless you. And nobody knew that she would confide in her husband and share his story, or my story. And then God placed it in their hearts to connect me to my now husband. But I didn't know that that was going to happen. I was just being kind. I was just being myself. I was just being open and sharing what I had gone through with no strings attached. And whilst I was just trying to recover, because I was very numb, literally I had no emotion. I couldn't feel happiness. I couldn't feel sadness. I couldn't even feel stressed. So I wasn't ready to open up myself to anyone. I wasn't ready to be excited about the relationship. I was just done. I told God that, this one, I'm done. I'm just going to serve you, and yeah, I'm cool with that. But God had other plans. And the Bible makes us understand that God has plans for us to prosper us and not to harm us, to give us a hope and a future. So after the brother and sister of ours, they contacted my husband about me. The husband told me, or my big brother, Joshua Yeboah Adade, told me that he would connect me or let me talk to someone because someone is interested in me. And in my head, I was like, yeah, wrong timing. I'm not myself. I don't even know who I am at this moment. But because I respect you, no problem. I would be okay if someone talks to me, but I'm not opening up my heart because I don't even feel like I have a heart. Then God bless this day on the 4th of August, 2023. My husband, he sent me a DM. And the first thing he said was, God bless you so much with the great things you're doing for God. Something in that line. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a kind person. So I remember that when my husband sent me a DM, I was like, let me just look at the video. Omo, I saw Manu. I told myself, this man looks like he can be my husband. My husband is so, oh my God, it's so good. But I was like, nah, forget it. He's too handsome for me. This one, God will not do him. The funny thing is, when he was also praying about me, or before he even contacted me or spoke to me, he was also really praying. And then my brother contacted him about me, and he prayed about it again and prayed about it again. And then when he started to talk to me and he saw my picture, he told himself, this is the woman I want to marry. So literally we told each other the same thing, or we said it in ourselves that this is the person I want to marry. But we hadn't told each other, so we didn't even know that was the first reaction we had when we saw each other. So that was interesting. But the funny thing was that I had a feeling that that is probably the person that my brother was talking about. So I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. And I kept praying that, God, please let him think that we are staying friends, because ain't nobody got time to be in a relationship anymore. We are done. But it was funny. He kept sending me messages, checking up on me through Instagram. And I was being kind and polite because he was very polite, very nice, and very patient. So after, I think, 1.5 weeks or 2 weeks, he asked for my number. And I was like, sure, but I'm not going to call. I don't want us to call. And he was like, no problem. He had no issue at all. If I say had no issue, he had no issue. And at that point, I had to open up, like, okay, let me just tell you the truth. I'm not myself. I don't know the person I am. I'm just numb. And I told him about my past, and he was like, oh, no problem. I believe that God has sent you into my life for a reason. So I was asking God, what manner of man is this? I have explained to him that I don't feel anything. I can't offer him anything. And he still says that he sees something in me. I was having questions mark all over the place, but then with time going on, I did inform my parents. I did inform my presiding elder as well. Elder Usasar, God bless him so much, because when I informed him, he was so happy. Him and his wife kept praying for me, with me. And then I told him that I'm going to embark on a journey to go to Ghana to find out if I should do this or not, because I don't have time to waste anymore. Not that I was in a rush, but I just didn't want to open up my heart to get myself involved in, and when I went there, my husband surprised me with a proposal straight away the same day. And I was like, God, is this real? And then the next day we went to church. And one thing that surprised me so much, that after church, he introduced me to his pastor. He introduced me to great leaders he looked up to. He brought me to dignitaries. We visited great men and women of God. And I was asking myself, I wasn't asking myself. I was asking God, this man is serious. Is this serious? I was so surprised. I was so humbled, because I was being taken serious to an extent I never knew I could even be taken serious. I cannot even say the sentence. And I was being handled like a precious pearl. Yeah. And it shocked me to the core, because I knew that I wanted someone that, like just how my husband presented himself, but I didn't know that it existed. Yeah. And one thing that happened when I started talking to my fiance is that at a point I started feeling some peace piercing into my heart. And I was like, where is this feeling coming from? Because I could not feel anything. But the first feeling that started coming out, I think after 2.5 weeks, was peace, peace, peace. And I kept hearing this word peace. And when I was also talking to him, I kept hearing prominent man, prominent man, prominent man. I was like, God, what's happening? You know? So that was one of the things that were also good signs to me, because you want to enter something whereby you feel the peace. And he had been so kind. I visited my my now family-in-law, and they were so kind. I had time with my mother-in-law, father-in-law, got to know them, my siblings-in-law. I call them my siblings, and it was just amazing. And then I told my parents, also called my presiding elder, let him know that we have visited the family, everything's going well. Presiding elder made sure he was checking up. And then I got back, and this is why the marriage happened in 6 months instead of 8, 9, 10. Okay. When my husband and I, we had decided that, we are going for this, we're going to do it. And both our parents were agreeing to it. Did tell them that we wanted to plan to marry in April or May, God willing, in 2024. And my mom was like, Gloria, we are now going to Ghana, because they were going to travel in 3 days. And she said that we are now going to Ghana. We are coming back in January, latest February. We are not going back in April for wedding. Please, madam, do the wedding in January. We can push it to February, but we are not going and coming. And I said, huh? It was a shocker. I shock. And I asked my dad, he was like, yeah, they cannot go and come back. And then I called my husband, or then my dead fiancé. I called him and said, babe, this is the situation. What are we going to do? We have to arrange everything. And it was a pressure, because we were like, how are we going to plan everything in like 3 months? But we made sure that we contacted our pastors, our presiding elders straight away. The church was involved, because they already knew that we had met each other. Our parents knew of each other, and we started the counseling. And by the grace of God, we were able to plan the wedding in 3 months. So in November, in August we started talking. November I got engaged, and February I was married. In 6 months I met him. We got married. This is divine speed. This is God's speed. And this is for someone that didn't believe that God would do it for her. But to the glory of God, I testify that when you serve God diligently, He rewards and He blesses you. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32, that the unmarried or the virgin focuses on the things of God and how they can please God. And that was one of the most important things in my life, to make sure that I will always serve God. I will please God, even if everyone will turn their backs against me, even if I will stand alone. Even if I would have to spend thousands of euros to just save one soul, I always told God I would do it, because I was so concerned about the things of God. And I didn't know that God will reward me in such a beautiful way, because I remembered what God has said. When I met my husband, it was on the 4th of August in 2023. I was still 29 years old. In October, I was not yet a fiancé. However, 4 months later, I was married in my 30th year. And by the grace of God, we conceived straight away by the mercies of God. And 9 months later, by the grace of God, we got our bouncing baby boy. And God is just working with divine speed. But I'm just here to share that if you don't believe that God will do it for you, trash that thought away. If you desire marriage, if you desire to serve God with your whole heart and have someone that wants to serve God with you, you have good desires that honor God. So don't give up. Don't let your thoughts or the peer pressure or the things around you make you believe that there's no man for you. Because I never thought that a man I could only think of, dream of, or imagine would be a man that exists. And I'm not exaggerating. In the times where I was having pains, where I was confused, where I didn't know how to believe in something good, anytime I would have negative thought, I would tell myself, My husband is good. My husband will love me. My husband will love our family. My husband will push me to do greater things. My husband this. I prayed anything that came into my mind. My husband loves me. My husband is a peaceful man. My husband is a hardworking man. My husband loves the things of God. My husband is passionate about the things of God. I would declare these things about my husband, and I didn't even know that he existed. I was saying these things without believing. But the words that Jesus spoke were spirit and life. And if we know that the same spirit that lives in Jesus now lives in us, then the words we speak are also spirit and life. And I didn't believe it. But one thing was sure, the words came to life. And now I am happily blessed married. So I'm here once again to encourage you that, hey, hold on to God, believe in God, trust in God. If God has told you something, treasure it in your heart and pray about it, because counterfeit can come, confusion can come. But remember, confusion does not come from God. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and sound mind. God bless you so much for watching. We have come to the end of the video, but don't be sad because way more is coming. We have so much in store for you, but if you don't want to miss it, make sure you subscribe, you like, you share, and you comment. You don't know who needs to hear this. You don't know who it will bless. So make sure that you share this video so that other people can be blessed. God bless you so much. And stay tuned because more is coming. More is coming. Ciao, ciao. Chocolate, chocolate, caramel, chocolate, Coco cratching.